All right.
You got everything set up, by the way. Is this on Facebook? I want people to see it and stuff.
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Okay, sounds good. What's up, everyone? It's another episode of Draconian Combat. We have our guest today, Isaac Alvarez, Dustin Mahan. If I pronounced it wrong. But
It's Mahan. Yeah.
Oh, Mahan, Dustin Mahan.
Yes,
and we're going to have another show today. So we want to thank the fighters for being here. We're going to do a face-off, get a sense of, how training camp is going, if they've evaluated each other, studied the tape, things of that nature. But I guess it doesn't matter. But I'll kick it off with you, Isaac. How's camp been? How do you feel going into this fight?
Fabulous. Thank you for asking. Nice to be here. It feels great to be here. But fabulous. I've had a lot of good fight camps, but this one feels really good. It feels I've just been zoned in. Correct. Eating right, gotcha. Fighting right. Been here.
For sure. What about you, Dustin? How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel great going into this one. Feel like my diet's been on point, and then I'm at Without Limits. We got lots of great fighters that I work with. So I'm feeling really confident.
Got you guys. And we'll go a little bit deeper into camp, so to speak. And you guys both have good records, right? So the question is, I guess, do you guys feel like, and I'll ask you, Isaac, first, do you feel like you have training partners who can mimic Dustin's game, his approach, things of that nature? Or are you feeling confident stylistic-wise going into this fight?
Most definitely. I mean, I've seen him fight a lot before. I fought Kyler Motzinger for my first fight. It didn't go my way, but he ended up beating Kyler Motzinger the same night I beat Jesus Rodriguez. Mm-hmm. I asked him how that fight went. What was his point of view from that night? I have taller because I know Dustin Mahan's about maybe 5'10", maybe 5'11", if I'm getting that right.
Around 6 foot.
Yeah, so I have training partners about his height as well, so that way I can have good clinching because I'm a little shorter. I'm 5'8", 5'9". So I definitely have good training partners, world-class training partners to get me ready for this fight.
Got you. And Dustin, how do you feel about, I guess, the guys in your camp, your team, in preparation? And then we kind of talked about the height real quick, but do you see that as an advantage going into this fight, being able to leverage your size?
Yeah, I do believe that height and reach is always an advantage, but I mean, people can get in on the inside really good, which I like the inside fight too. But and as far as my training partners, I have a variety of styles of teammates, and the one props I should give to Isaac is I have watched his fights and I've seen how he's also developed very well between fights. Like I seen one fight where he threw a really long combo and seemed like he kind of tired himself out a little bit. And his next fight, he came out, he was more accurate and reserved. So, I got, so he's evolving. So I've got to be able to fight with multiple different style teammates in order to, because he could have evolved even more. You know what I mean?
Good point. Michael, did you want to interject?
Yeah, so I've watched some of you guys' fights. This question's for Isaac. So Dustin has some nasty clinch game, man. How do you see yourself faring off in those exchanges? I know you talk, you have teammates that are around his heights. How do you feel those exchanges?
We may have lost him.
No, we got him.
Sorry about that. Drop my phone.
Sorry.
I feel really good about like you said, he has a very good clinch, very strong clinch. That was basically the main thing that I heard from Monsinger was he's strong like a bear. Well, that's what he said. And so my whole fight camp has been around working on my clinch, working to get out of the clinch, work on basically not just make it a clinch game because I want to make it beautiful. I want to have a gorgeous fight, something that the fans are out of their seat, screaming, roaring, and doing that for clinching for 10 minutes is I would like to do other things than that. So I've been trying to, break out of that because if I can't do that, it's on my end.
Michael, did you want to, well, I guess I'll ask. So Dustin, because your clinch game is as nasty as it is, right? I guess you're not going to necessarily deviate from it. I don't want to get too much into you guys' game plans. I don't want to spoil things, but is that something you're looking forward to leveraging? Do you feel like Isaac's going to be able to hold up to your clinch game?
I don't depend on my clinch game. It's actually clinch was something that kind of like there's just like a certain feel, and whenever I feel that moment, I go in for the clinch.
Gotcha.
And yeah, and I don't and like he was saying, I like to be an entertaining fighter too. And that's not the style of clinching I want to do either. It's like a full fight where we're just tied up in a clinch. That gets boring. And yeah, I like to have really entertaining fights too. So yeah, if the clinch is there, I like to use it for a second, but also clinch, tire them out, then get back to just brawling and making having fun out there.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
I agree with that.
Okay, yeah, I anticipate this fight's going to be exciting. The better man will win, and I'll let Michael, because I know you had some more questions lined up. I'll let you go.
So this is a question for both of you. What strengths do you guys see in each other as far as strengths that are dangerous that you're training for particularly? You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Basically, what's something dangerous in your opponent that you see that you need to watch out for?
Would you like me to answer first?
Yeah, you can go first. That's fine.
His clinch.
Clinch.
It seems like every time he has a really good clinch game, and like you said, when he gets in those moments and he does clinch with Motsinger, with any of his other fighters, they seem to want to back up and they just want to get out, type of thing. Not saying that they want to quit. Not saying Motsinger wanted to quit out there or anything like that. Still want to be respectful, but they just didn't want to be in his clinch. They tired out, or there he was just on top of him. So that's one thing I would say that he has that is dangerous for sure.
Dustin, what would you have to say that you've seen in Isaac's game, so to speak?
Like I said, in his development from them two fights, that last fight, it looked like he came out really controlled and he really chose his moments to throw very accurate selected shots. And that's a development I've seen yeah, and that could be dangerous. Someone really accurately choosing a very proper moment, timing is everything, and yeah, power and all that combined at the right moment can be a very dangerous tool to use.
Gotcha. And I guess I'll piggyback off Mike's question, and I'll ask you, Dustin, and I'll ask you, Isaac. If you guys feel like sharing, maybe you don't, but are there any weaknesses that you see or sort of holes in each other's games that you can exploit?
As far as weaknesses, man, I'm not sure. I just kind of stick to my own fighting style and entertainment. And really, I don't know. Like I said, the one weakness is that I like to brawl on the inside too. And for people who are shorter, that's the range that they need to get in, and that be their advantage. And it's not necessarily that's a weakness of his, but with going with me with someone taller, normally when you're going to get someone taller, that's a spot they don't want to be in. They want to keep their range. But it's not a weakness, but it's just that typically when you're fighting someone taller, that's where you want to be. And with me, that's still a really dangerous place to be in on. So yeah, it's not anything towards him as a weakness. I'm saying, yeah.
No, we're
it's just not as much as an advantage as you'd normally have when you're fighting someone taller. Yeah.
Understood. And the same question goes for you too, Isaac.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Do you see any holes in Dustin's game that you feel like you can exploit?
No. I wouldn't say. I would say like, oh, he has this or he does this as a habit or anything like that. That I would say, oh my God, I'm going to exploit that, and that's how I'm going to win. But I would say like there's moments where pressure-wise, because he gets better every fight. Like how you said, I get better every fight. He gets better every fight as well. So it could be times when he's on pressure where he kind of backs up super long, and maybe I could take advantage of that. But there's a lot of scenarios where it can come to play in the fight, and I'm there to, and God willingly, I'm there to take advantage if I have to.
Gotcha. Understood. And we got some people rolling in now. We got a comment. Thomas Jr. Vale, maybe he says, "Let's go." And so I'll read out some other comments as people roll in. But I think this question kind of goes to Styles too. And questions for both of you guys. And I guess Dustin, you can kick it off. Are you approaching this fight more from a standpoint, and you kind of answered this, as far as imposing your style, or sort of seeing how Isaac approaches the fight and sort of adjusting on the fly? What's your sort of mindset going into the fight? Is it just like, hey, I'm going to do me, and if I have to adjust, I can, but I'm really focused on doing me versus being like the guy who's trying to read Isaac as an example?
It really comes down to a combination of both. I go in with my fighting style, and for the most part, I will stick to my fighting style.
Right.
But in there, you've got to be able to like pick up on your read, see what's not working. That even if it's maybe like one of your better tools, okay, that's really, really not working. And you might have to like take, like, even if it's one of your better tools, you might have to say, hey, every time that happens, like he's countering with this and it is landing, and I either need to make the adjustment to make that stop landing, or I might have to get rid of that tool and then be like, oh, this isn't something I usually do. I might have done it a little bit, but I see the opening for that. And I might have to adjust what I'm doing off of what he's doing. But even once I do that, I still have my fighting style, and at my roots, I'm going to stick to that. But yeah, you have to be able to, once you're in that cage, see what is working, what's not, make your adjustments, get rid of the things that are really putting you in danger, and realize that them things are putting you in danger.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, good answer. And Isaac, I guess the question goes for you. Are you looking to sort of impose yourself, or sort of you kind of picked up on how Dustin fights and maybe you're changing your style? Or are you looking to be yourself in there?
Kind of what Dustin said. I'm there to do both. If I have to adapt, I will adapt. Like, if I have to oppose my will, then I oppose my will. If there's moments where he's tired, then I can push forward, then I'll push forward. If there's moments where, he's pushing me backwards and I have to adapt, then I will adapt.
Got you.
I believe he said it perfectly.
Oh, you're good. My bad. I was going to say, because this is RDC, and I guess it's a smaller cage. Michael's touched on it a couple times, right? But
yeah.
Questions for both of you. Do you feel like your style benefits or works well in a small cage? Will that actually be sort of a detriment, or will that help you, do your thing in the ring? And Dustin, you can go first.
I don't know if it really helps or hurt, because like I said, I do like them entertaining fights that we're at it, the whole time. I don't really like the lackluster fights where there's space, wait a second, and everything. Like, I do need to maintain my range and everything, but I don't like for too much of it to be, just big avoidance, and then like,
right.
But it is a different thing being in such a small cage. Like, you're in there no matter what, and you only get a couple steps back, and there you are. If you back up and you take a couple steps, now your back is on the cage. You got to do something about that. You ain't got very far to go. And yeah, that does change things a little bit, but it's not the biggest ordeal. Even the bigger cages in our league aren't going to be that huge anyways, but
Okay.
it definitely does make a difference.
Got you. Isaac, did you kind of feel the same way as far as the small cage versus a big cage? I think it makes for a great fight in general.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love the small cage. It kind of, like what he said, it kind of takes away the factor of it always puts you in range. I was watching a Joe Rogan podcast, and he said fighting is just problem solving with the most dire consequences. And I agree, right, especially if you have such a small cage. He wants to change it to be a football arena, but that's going to be boring. But the octagon, and you have a small cage, it's constant, especially for 2 minutes. You can't wait, sit there. Oh, I'm just gonna feel him out. You don't have 12 rounds like boxing. You have 5 2-minute rounds, and you're there to, like he said, make a show, put on a great show.
Gotcha. We got another comment. Bo Digby says, Isaac, let's go, brother. Michael, did you want to sort of comment on the cage? You know how RDC is, and then I'll let you cook a little bit more.
It's different because I've said this a bunch of times, but like in my other fights, I fought in a full size octagon.
Right.
So you'll see my style from those fights is a little bit different. I'm moving around my circle a lot. But when I fought in the RDC cage, I felt like I had to be very intense because there was little room for error. Like Dustin was saying, like you get too comfortable, you start moving back, and next thing you know your elbows touching the fence. So it's a different intensity. I feel like because at least for myself, because I felt like I had to be more intense so I didn't get caught with anything stupid. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fight. You know what I mean? So no matter the size of the ring, where you're fighting at, you still got to fight. You got to figure it out. That's what makes fighters, being able to adapt.
Gotcha. And we got another comment. Thomas says this fight's going to be fight of the night. Thank you, Thomas. I'll be sure to like that. And then my other question to both of you was, do you guys have any added motivation going into this fight? Maybe a chip on your shoulder, whether it be from the history. Is there any added motivation, or is it just another fight for you? I guess that's the question. And Isaac, I'll let you go first.
I don't have nothing against Dustin. I mean, he's another man just like I am. At the end of the day, he punches me in my mouth, I bleed. I punch him in his, he bleeds. Right. So there's no animosity towards him. But at the end of the day, it's just, like you said, another fight, something to get better on. Like he said, I get better every fight, and that's what I want to show. This fight is I've gotten better.
Gotcha. What about you, Dustin?
Yeah, there's absolutely no animosity or anything. There's the added motivation of it being a title, and
yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. But I've always got my own motivations. I have a 5-year-old son who's always with me at my training. I have full custody of him, and
congratulations.
Thank you. And it's summertime. It's about to be summertime, and this is like prime time to be fighting. So like to kick off summer with a title, and then that's going to lead to more big fights this summer. And this is prime time for everyone to be active. So this would be a really good start to a prime fighting time of the year. Although I've fought year round, but this is just prime time for it, and to start it with a title would be great.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I do want to reiterate that this is a title fight. So this just isn't another fight. It's for the belt. And Michael, did you want to say something?
Yeah. So like, let's say you guys capture the belt. What's next for you guys? Are you planning on staying in kickboxing? Can we see you guys in MMA? I just want to know where your head's at. Like, let's say you do win the belt. What's next? And that's for both of you guys.
I train full jiu-jitsu and everything with my gym, and whenever people have MMA fights coming up, I spar with all the people's fights coming up, give them more work, and on Saturdays I'll come in and they'll be like, oh, we're just gonna do MMA today. I'll do that too. I'll probably do a fight or two in MMA, but as far as futuristically, like I figure in the next couple of years I'll go pro and I'll make some money doing Muay Thai and stuff, and kind of leave that legacy.
Okay.
But and I'll probably do a couple amateur MMA fights before that. But striking is what I love and what I specialize in. And I think that's the base where on a highly competitive level I should be. The full MMA with people who have done wrestling and everything since they were a child. I mean, there's levels to it all. And my striking's above my grappling and all that, and that's fine. I can admit that. But that's what I specialize. I specialize in striking, and if I want to go pro, that's where I could actually hold my own and get in there in MMA with someone who truly has that grit of wrestling for years and years. It's a whole different animal once you have everything. Yeah.
No, you're right. I respect that. That's the honest answer too. What about you,
it's just being honest with myself.
Could you repeat the question again, brother?
All right. So like, if you got a damn fly in my room. If you capture the belt, do we see you at kickboxing still, or do we see possibly a transition into MMA as well? What's next for you after you win the belt?
I haven't talked to my coach because at the end of the day, it's all up to my coach. God willingly, if I win the belt, what I want to do next is go to another organization in kickboxing and win their belt. Kickboxing is where I want to be at. I have great striking. I get better every fight. Maybe before I turn pro, which I'm 19 now, and I want to turn pro when I'm 21. Maybe before I turn pro, maybe I'll do an MMA fight. But other than that, I really want to do kickboxing, glory kickboxing.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I respect that.
And Glory's at the highest level of kickboxing, right? K1 Glory won championships.
Yes, sir.
I think those are the biggest platforms. And I guess this is the question, and some of the guys have different answers when we ask them, but this question is for both of you. And Isaac, I guess I'll start with you. Do you have a prediction for this fight? Maybe a finish, or what's your prediction?
God willingly, I will come out on top, whether it's a 5-round bang or it ends short. Knowing and seeing Dustin's fights, I mean, you're going to have to light him on fire and stab him to kill him early. So whether it's short or whether it's 5 rounds and it's a split decision, unanimous decision, God willingly, I will be on top.
Gotcha.
That's my decision. Okay. That's my prediction.
Dustin, do you have a prediction?
I imagine it's going to end up being an all-out war. Isaac's a very skilled fighter. I believe he's undefeated, and I don't think he wants to see a loss on that record. And he's hungry, man. He's here for a belt for a reason, and yeah, I don't see him going down easily. I'm not going to predict a knockout or a decision. Those things happen naturally, but I do predict I'm going to win whichever way it goes, and but either way, it's going to be beautiful. We're going to put on a show. No matter how it ends, it's going to be a show. Neither of us are wanting to go down. Neither of us are going to go down easy.
Nope.
Yeah. So
light us on fire. It's going to be fireworks, right, brother?
Yeah, we're going to be there for it.
No, I think that was the perfect answer. And like I said, I didn't want to take all you guys' time, but I did want to get some predictions. And it sounds like we have the predictions. Both of you guys are predicting victories, but it's going to be an entertaining fight, to say the very least, right? But I do want to give you guys a chance to, I guess, before we close it up, because we don't want to take your time, to shout out anybody, maybe sponsors, training partners, because a lot of these guys are in the comments. But did you guys want to make any shout outs to any people? And either you guys can go first, but
I'll let you go first, brother.
Yeah, I'll shout out a couple of my sponsors. Pit Recovery out in Jonesboro by Chance Walls, Repentless Tattoo Shop, and Dickie's Tree Service. Those are all great sponsors. And shout out to my whole team here at Without Limits. We got Carson Rainwater and Seth Pitts is going to be. Seth Case is going to be fighting also for titles that night, amateur titles that night. And I think we're going to come out and have a clean sweep. But yeah, thank you to all my sponsors, and thank you for my teammates for working with me. We got a bunch of killers, Roland Pruden. We got a great team out here. So yeah, thank you for giving me that opportunity to shout them out too.
Yes, sir. And Isaac, what about you?
Thank you for the opportunity to have this interview. Definitely shout out to Dewan Pickney, Chauncey Foxworth, Dave Mockenchev, Bo Digby, Bridges. Shout out to all those guys fighting for titles, fighting for pro fights. They're all amazing people at the end of the day. Love those guys. Wouldn't get this far without them. I'm pretty sure. Matt, if y'all haven't met him in person, please meet Dewan Pickney. It's just a good person in general. Thank you for allowing me to shout them out.
Yes, sir. No, thank you guys for being on our platform. We appreciate it, because we can't run the face off without both fighters agreeing, and agreeing to face off with each other, because not everyone wants to do that. But we appreciate it. Michael, did you have any closing remarks?
No, thank both of you for coming on the show. Me and Harrison are excited. We're going to be doing a live watch along for this event. So
yeah,
we've been interviewing a lot of you guys, and we get to watch you guys live compete and react in real time. So me and Harrison are excited for that. And just the best of luck to both of you as well.
Yes, sir. God
bless. Thanks for having us on.
And I think we'll sign it off. We're going to blast. Oh, and the other thing, though, Michael, blasts all the shorts on Facebook and stuff. So if you ever feel like he's going overboard, tagging you in posts, just feel free to let him know.
Hey, who told me to do that? Trey Frazier. So I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, funny. So we're just letting you know, don't be surprised if you're getting tagged in posts and stuff like that, because we want to help you guys promote the fight, really. But
yeah, if I get obnoxious with it too, you don't got to accept it. But I'm always gonna do it anyway, just to get it out there.
Yes,
got
sir.
you. I appreciate it.
Signing off, Isaac Alvarez, Dustin Mahan for the RDC kickboxing title. I forget the date.
May 10th.
145.
May 10th. Yes, sir. We will sign off. We'll talk to y'all, and we'll be there. And feel free to come back on after the fight and things of that nature. But signing off, Draconian Combat. Peace, everyone.
Peace. Thank y'all, man. Very much.
Put on a show, brother.
God bless.